Who's interested in games, online games?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I'm
All right.
playing online games, online chess.
Online chess. All right. Any other games that you like to play?
No, ma'am. I have no enough time actually.
Which standard are you in, Palak?
Ma'am, I'm in 10th standard.
10th standard.
Yeah.
All right. That's very good.
Thanks, ma'am.
All right. All the best for your exams, Palak.
Thanks.
All right. So let's move on. So everyone uses internet for various things. Okay. So you can use it for being connected to your friends, to your relatives. But above all, there are many other things that you can make use of, right? On the internet, whether it is payments, it is your entertainment, it's your video games. There are many things to do on the internet. But while we are making good use of the internet for our knowledge sake, for being connected, there are some people who might be using the same internet for the bad things or with the bad intentions. And those bad intentions could harm you as well. So today's session is going to be dedicated to help you understand that while you're browsing and enjoying over the internet, how to make sure that you and your family members are safe. All right. So with that, we'll move ahead. Today, we are going to look at we are going to understand the different risks while we are browsing on the internet. We are going to understand the dangers that are associated with those risks. And we are going to help you understand how you could take the right decisions if you fall into a situation. And that is what we call as AIM: acknowledge, identify, and make the right decision. Okay. Now, who knows social media? Have you ever worked on social media or interacted with anyone on the social media? What is social media?
मैम सोशल नेटवर्क होता है जिसमें हम डिफरेंट पीपल्स और कम्युनिटी से कनेक्ट करते हैं इंटरनेट के जरिए।
और आप क्या करते हैं उस पे?
मैम व्हाट्सएप वगैरह पे बहुत यूज होता है आजकल।
और क्या क्या एप्स यूज किए हैं अपने सोशल मीडिया के?
ठीक है।
सिर्फ व्हाट्सएप पे यूज किया है क्या आपने?
यस मैम।
अच्छा, मुस्कान, आपने कुछ यूज किया है?
मैम यस मैम।
ओके, आपने कौन से प्लेटफॉर्म्स यूज किए हैं?
मैम फॉर एग्जांपल लाइक मैम इंस्टाग्राम एंड मैम यूट्यूब एंड व्हाट्सएप and Twitter and many other.
Very good. All right. So what are the different things you do on these social media platforms? Apart from chatting with your friends, anything else that you do?
Yes, ma'am.
What are the different things that you do on social media?
Ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, ma'am, social media, the way I use, like I'm a very big fan of Charlie D'Amelio, the dancer. So I follow her on TikTok, and, because I love her dancing. So in that way, like social media is connecting me with her. So like I can see her dancing, and I can also see their culture over there, America. Because she's from America. So like I use so for matlab for me, social media is like entertainment, and yeah, like a sort of entertainment in our lives.
Okay. All right. So there are many things that you can do on social media as well. You can exchange your photographs. You can share it with wider set of people. You can keep increasing your network by connecting with whomever you would like to. So there are many things that you could do on the internet. Now, what are the pitfalls of being on social media? One, whatever you share on the social media platform, whether it is your post, whether it is your picture, whether it is your video, whatever you show on the social media, that is going to be accessible to anyone if you do not make your social media profile private. So the first thing that you will have to do is make sure that your profile is private, and whatever you are sharing is only shared with individuals who are in your network. Now, why do we want to do that? Can anyone tell me? Why should we make our profile private?
So that no one can misuse that.
And how can they misuse that? That was the correct answer. How could they misuse that, Gurjot? Sween, would you like to answer?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am. Ma'am, there were several hackers on the social media which use our pictures for misuse. And ma'am, we hear sometime that there are some hackers that use our pictures to produce vulgar things, ma'am. That's why I suggest that we should keep our profile private, ma'am.
All right. So whatever you share, whether you're telling your friend that or telling all your friends in one go that, tonight I'm going to be out, I'm going to so and so friend's place, all that information should be kept private. And you have to understand that this is not an information that you want to share with everyone. So please keep your profile private. Make sure that the information is only shared with those whom you want to share with. Now, sometimes we do have a tendency that we write some post out of anger, frustration, or we don't think about the words we are using before we write. And what is the repercussion of that? This post that you write may stay there forever. Even if you go tomorrow and decide that, no, this post should not have been posted, I should delete it. Do you think this goes away from the internet the moment you delete it? Muskan?
No, ma'am. Because, for example, if someone is like our enemy, they can also take the screenshot of it and use it against. And moreover, that, for example, the different apps will have our datas with them, like our previous histories and all that stuff. So it's
Right.
not safe.
So once you post something on the internet, please keep in mind that it is going to stay there forever. And the reason we say that is even after you post it and you delete it, it could happen that someone has already taken a copy of that, snapshot of that, forwarded to others, which you cannot stop or pull back. And that is why we always say, always think before you write anything on the internet. I was talking to one of the principals one day, and the principal was quite concerned about an incident that had happened in her school. So one of the child had very nicely created a video and posted on YouTube. And what happened was one of her classmates started writing some bad comments against that video. And that became very embarrassing for the individual who was posting that video. Now, something that probably the person could have avoided if that person would have thought about, one, the person who posted the video could have thought about what was being put into the video. Even if that was done after good thoughts, the person who was writing could also have thought well before writing the comments if it is going to be hurting for the other person or not. And that person was actually rusticated at a later point. Now, we don't want to get into a situation because such a situation wherein we get impacted because we did not think well whether our actions are going to hurt someone or not. So always think before you are sharing anything on the internet. Now, someone talked about TikTok application, right? What is the biggest challenge of using such applications? Anyone? Has anyone seen TikTok in the news recently? Something happened recently.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am, it's banned.
It banned in India.
Okay. It has been banned for some time now, but very recent something happened. So what is TikTok? TikTok is really a platform where people create any content, share the video, and they can kind of start a challenge which just goes viral. And everyone is very excited when things go viral, right? And they want to try it because just because it has gone viral, others want to try it. So there was a recent challenge that that was rolled out on TikTok called as the Blackout Challenge. Now, when we start doing things without thinking, just because something is going viral, something is very in with my friends, everyone is trying to do, so even I have to do, what happens is we do it without a thought and without realizing how it is going to impact us. So recently, one boy, he took up the Blackout Challenge. Now, I don't want anyone over here to try that Blackout Challenge. I want everyone to be aware what they should not be doing. Now, this Blackout Challenge was supposedly asking the members, or still right now, I think the video has been removed that initiated this, but the idea was that they take actions which actually led to a death of a boy. And that boy was a teenager. He just wanted to try out what was there in the challenge. He was very confident that he would be able to survive that, but he actually died because of that challenge. So there are many things you will find on the internet. Some things will, some videos will show us good content. They will actually teach us and improve us, help us grow. But there are others that might actually hamper us from doing the good things, or it may impact our life as well, or life of those who are our loved ones. So be very careful about what you're doing on the internet. Whether the information you are seeing on the internet is the right information to look at, or whether that content should really be pursued by you, or read by you, or implemented by you. Always think before you do anything on the internet. Any questions on these tips that we have? All right. So moving on to the next topic. What is cyberbullying? Anyone?
Blackmailing.
Blackmailing. Okay. What else?
Judging the people by their looks and their we can say that by only their personalities.
Okay. Smriti?
Ma'am, bullying people by being anonymous.
Okay. Someone could be anonymous, someone could bully even by giving their name in. So bullying is bullying, irrespective of whether the person is anonymous or not. Very good.
Harassing and commenting on people on social media.
Right. So just as you have bullies in a school, in a physical school, I know it's been a long time when you since you've met your friends, but hopefully soon you'll start meeting your friends. And generally we have these bullies in school who are troubling others, who are dominating others, who are hurting others' feelings as well as physically. Similarly, on the internet, if someone is bullying you by writing bad comments, by making you demotivated in doing what you are doing, that is called cyberbullying. Now, what can you do if someone is cyberbullying you or your friend? Have you encountered any such situation, and how would you stop it?
Ma'am, you can report against it. For example, there are such type of like things in the apps, like for example, Instagram. If there is any bad post, then you can probably report against that, and it can get like deleted from the Instagram.
Okay. Anything else that can be done? So you're right, Muskan. What we can do is we can always report it to the social media platform. Some of the social media platforms are good enough to listen to the complaints and take actions on them. So probably Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all of them will listen to you and they will delete the account. But what happens if you delete the account? Will the bully stop, or will they create another account and start bullying again?
Yes, ma'am, they can also do it again.
Right?
Even they can create your different account. For example, if they might be having your pictures and all of that stuff, they can create different account and send different messages to other people, so as to shame you or something like that.
Yes. So that can definitely happen. So what you need to do is make sure that if someone is bullying you, do not respond to the person who is bullying you. That is the first step. You need to get some adult involved so that they can try and put a stop to this bullying. Generally, what happens is if someone is bullying you and you try to respond back, it might just come back again, and there might be no end to it, right? If you do not respond and you keep listening, the bullying may also continue for a long time. But if you try to get someone adult intervene, whether it is your parents, whether it is your uncle, auntie, whether it is your teachers, principal, just reach out to anyone whom you trust. Try to get them involved. They will confront the person who's bullying you and they will try to put an end to it. It is always best to have someone involved, some adult involved. The second thing you have to do is always take a snapshot of the bullying activity that was done before it is deleted. Reason being, if you have to go to the cybercrime division, that is legally report such a crime against you, you will need to provide a proof. Does anyone know where they can go in and report the cybercrime? Cyberbullying is considered a cybercrime. So where can you report it? Not the social media platforms, but legally to the police, to the government agency. Anyone? So there is a website called as cybercrime.gov.in. Now, this is a site that has been created by the Ministry of Home Affairs. And there's a specific section dedicated for the women and children. If you are facing a cyberbullying activity, it is considered a cybercrime, and you can report that activity over there. You will have to give the required evidence, that is the proof of someone cyberbullying you, but you can definitely get it reported and sorted out. Any questions on this front? Okay, so I'll give you one example of what happened in another school. And this is not outside India, this is in India that we are encountering such situations. So it is not something very different or unique that we can't think of happening around us. So once a child had got access to a porn video. And what he decided to do was that he thought he'll share it with others in his school, in his class. And he shared it with one of the girl student in the class. Now, this girl student felt ashamed. Now, this is kind of a cyberbullying because the girl was feeling ashamed. The girl was feeling lost her confidence in interacting with her friends, was not sure if she should let anyone know about it or not. She was trying to keep these things to herself. And what eventually happened was she kept getting these messages again and again from the boy, and she didn't know what to do. She finally started telling, she went ahead and told her friend about it, and she realized that her friend had also received it. And when they started opening up with the other friends, they realized that many children in that class had received the same video from this person. Then they went ahead and they went and told to their teacher, and they realized that even the teacher had received that content from the boy. Eventually, the boy was rusticated. He was not an Indian. He was a foreigner staying in India, and he was attending an Indian school, but he was rusticated from the school. Now, you don't want such things to happen to you. So anyone who is playing that mischief just for fun, please make sure that you do not get involved in these cyberbullying activities. Sharing porn video is not considered good. Looking at porn videos is not considered good. At this age, it is very easy to get access to such videos on the internet. Please don't spoil your future by going through those videos, because those videos are finally going to distract you. And if at all you do end up sharing, it will not be taken well by others as well. And there could be legal complaints made against you. Okay, so something that you have to, some of the tips on the cyberbullying. If it is you who is involved in the cyberbullying, that is you are being the target, please make sure that you approach one of the adults and make sure that you are putting a stop to that cyberbullying activity with the help of the adult. If you are not the person who is the target, but you know someone else is the target, what should you be doing? So not many children are speaking. There are 138 members and participants in this session. I would definitely like new names to crop up now. If I don't see new names coming up, I'm going to start asking questions directly. I'll call out the names.
Ma'am, we should tell them about how cyberbullying is, like how you can go to how you can approach your parents or your teachers in case you are being cyberbullied.
That is the right answer, Apurva. You should definitely do that. So what you should be doing is, as a bystander, first, do not respond to the person who is bullying. Never respond to them directly. Rather, reach out to the person who is being the target. reach out personally. You don't have to reach out over social media and tell everyone I'm reaching out to so and so person, but you have to reach out to the person who is being targeted, so that that person doesn't feel that he or she is alone. And then make sure that they understand they have to reach out to someone adult in their family or teachers, so that they can get the bullying activity stopped. Okay, do not be a participant of the bullying. If someone is being targeted, please don't become a part of that team who is bullying the other person. Please avoid being that, because you could get involved as well, and you could be legally implicated as well because of this. Any questions on cyberbullying? I'm not seeing any questions on chat window as well. I'm not sure if anyone has question. Yes, Falak?
मैम एक्चुअली कभी ऐसा होता है कि केस डिफरेंट होता है, हम पेरेंट्स या किसी एडल्ट से हम शेयर नहीं कर पाते अपनी प्रॉब्लम, तो मैम उस केस में हम क्या कर सकते हैं?
तो कभी आप ऐसे सिचुएशन में होगे तो भी आपको एक पर्सन को तो ट्रस्ट करना पड़ेगा फलक। आप अगर सब कुछ अपने पास रखोगे, आपको सॉल्यूशंस मिलने थोड़े मुश्किल हो जाएंगे, क्योंकि जब ऐसा कुछ हमारे साथ हो रहा होता है तो हमारा सोचना बंद हो जाता है, हम घबरा जाते हैं, हम सॉल्यूशंस नहीं ढूंढ सकते हैं। तो एक ट्रस्टेड पर्सन के पास जाइए, उससे बात करिए। हो सकता है कि आप पेरेंट्स के साथ बात नहीं कर पा रहे हैं पहले, तो आप पहले एक फ्रेंड से बात करिए जिसको आप ट्रस्ट करते हैं, नहीं तो एक टीचर के पास जाइए जिनको आप ट्रस्ट कर सकते हैं। मगर आप जब तक वो बात शेयर नहीं करेंगे और सोल्यूशन के लिए तरफ वर्क नहीं करेंगे तो वो सॉल्व नहीं कर पाएंगे। इवेंचुअली आपके फ्रेंड्स शायद उसमें हेल्प नहीं कर पाएंगे, क्योंकि वो भी तो बच्चे हैं। तो आप एक एडल्ट को लेके आइए, तो आप साइबर क्राइम में भी जाके रिपोर्ट कर पाएंगे आराम से।
यस मैम, थैंक यू मैम।
यस प्रियम।
मैम गुड आफ्टरनून। मैम मैं अगर जिसपे हम बहुत ज्यादा ट्रस्ट करते हैं वही हमें साइबर बुलिंग कर रहा है हमारे साथ, तब हम क्या करेंगे? हमने जाके उसी को बताया, फिर होगा क्या ऐसे में?
तो आप जाइए अपने पेरेंट्स के पास। आपके पेरेंट्स हैं, आपके भाई बहन हैं, आप उनको ट्रस्ट कर सकते हैं। हो सकता है कि आपको कभी कभी वो धोखा दे जाए जिनको आप ट्रस्ट कर रहे हैं, पर सारे तो वैसे नहीं निकलेंगे ना, तो आपको दूसरे किसी के ऊपर ट्रस्ट करना पड़ेगा, सो दैट आप उसको स्टॉप कर पाए।
यस मैम, तो कंक्लूजन यही है कि हमें अपने पेरेंट्स या फिर ब्रदर सिस्टर या टीचर्स पे ही ज्यादा ट्रस्ट होना चाहिए।
कंक्लूजन में सिचुएशन के ऊपर रखते हैं, मगर हाँ, आपको ज्यादा मालूम होगा आप किस पे ज्यादा ट्रस्ट कर सकते हैं। ब्लाइंडली किसी पे ट्रस्ट मत करिए।
यस मैम।
एक्सक्यूज मी मैम।
यस
मैम, अगर हमें साइबर बुलिंग या फिर कोई भी साइबर क्राइम रिपोर्ट करना हो, अगर ऑनलाइन रिपोर्ट करना हो, तो हम कहाँ से, मतलब कैसे रिपोर्ट करेंगे उसे?
अच्छा, मैं एक टाइप कर देती हूँ यहाँ पे। एक साइट है cybercrime.gov.in, मैं यहाँ चैट विंडो पे भी डाल के रख रही हूँ, वो साइट विजिट करिए। ये साइट पे आप जाके कंप्लेन लॉन्च कर सकते हैं फॉर्मली।
Guncha, just so you know, how is cyberbullying different from in-person bullying?
Bullying is the same. Bullying won't change. But when you're saying in-person,
Kumkum Pathak.
Yes, I'm answering to Kumkum. So when you're saying in-person bullying, this is nothing but someone is physically in front of you and is bullying you. Cyberbullying is when something is happening online, that is on social media platform. For example, I talked about YouTube incident, right? Someone had posted a video on YouTube and someone else went ahead and wrote some comments which were really bad and very embarrassing for the person. Now, this is cyberbullying, when publicly you're shaming a person on the internet by writing comment, by posting comments which are very embarrassing. That is cyberbullying. Does that answer your question, Kumkum?
Ma'am, what are the laws on cyberbullying?
What are the laws on cyberbullying? Cyberbullying करना allowed नहीं होता है, तो उसके लिए या कभी भी हम ये नहीं चाहते हैं कि दूसरे पर्सन को बस जेल में डाल दे, राइट? तो ऐसा हो सकता है कि आप कभी रिपोर्ट भी करो एक्टिविटी, तो ये हो सकता है कि दोनों टीम्स के बीच में, मतलब जिसको साइबर बुलिंग हुआ है और जो कर रहा है, हो सकता है उनके बीच में मीडिएट करवा दिया जाए, या हो सकता है कि कोई लीगल एक्शन लिया जाए, डिपेंडिंग अपॉन वो साइबर बुलिंग किस लेवल पे गया है। ऑलराइट, तो फिर हम आगे बढ़ते हैं। और इसके अलावा भी कुछ क्वेश्चंस हैं तो आप लोग चैट पे लिख सकते हैं। वंदना वर्मा या प्राजक्ता जो मेरे साथ हैं वो आपको आंसर कर देंगे.
I have a question, Gunja.
Yes.
If you, what if an adult is cyberbullying a child?
So you can complain it on the cybercrime.gov.in. Just make sure that you have the evidence that you can submit. Evidence मतलब जो जहाँ पे भी आपका साइबर बुलिंग हो रहा है उसका स्नैपशॉट लेके रखिए, वो लॉग एक्टिविटी लेके रखिए जो आप सबमिट कर सके और दिखा सके पुलिस को for any cyber bullying activity that is happening.
Thank you.
Okay, next is losing control. Now this is also a very important topic. हमें बहुत सॉरी किसी को क्वेश्चन है? वर्षा?
यस मैम. मैम अगर मैम हमारे पास मैम प्रूफ नहीं होंगे या फिर एविडेंस वगैरह नहीं होगी तो उस टाइम हम क्या करें?
एडल्ट को इन्वॉल्व करिए, डेफिनेटली एडल्ट को इन्वॉल्व करिए. प्रूफ के बिना आप शायद क्राइम रिपोर्ट करोगे तो भी कोई एक्शन ना ले पाए.
यस मैम.
ओके, सो लूजिंग कंट्रोल. अभी क्या होता है कि when we have so many cameras with us, right? All around us, everyone has a phone, everyone has camera, good quality cameras, and we like to take our own pictures, our pictures, pictures of our loved ones. But sometimes what happens is when we are taking these pictures, we may not be dressed properly, or we may be probably making a pose which is not going to be taken well by others. And it could be for fun, or it could be mistakenly that we have clicked such pictures, videos, and with the intention of either keeping with us or sharing only with the close friends. Now that is a possibility. But what could happen is that eventually, once you share it with someone, anyone, whether it is your closest friend, जैसे कोई बोल रहा था कि सब जिसको आप ट्रस्ट कर रहे हो वही बुली करने लग गया तो क्या? So if you share it with someone whom you trusted and they break your trust and share it further, what happens? Those intimate photos that you have taken, those will be shared with others, and it could cause embarrassment not only for yourself but also your family members. So whenever you're taking these pics, be very careful. First of all, try to avoid taking such pics. We don't really need a pic of ourselves in such poses or in situations or states which we are embarrassed to share with anyone. But if we have taken for a particular reason, please make sure that you're not sharing it with anyone. आप लोगों ने incident भी सुना होगा. So some of these celebrities, outside India of course, but they had taken quite a few intimate photos of themselves and they had posted on an online account. Now it was their personal account. It was posted there, just kept there for themselves. But what happens if that password leaks? So they ended up keeping weak passwords, or for some reason they leaked their passwords, because of which others were able to get access to their photos. And it was quite an embarrassment for all the celebrities. So be careful about any videos, any photos, and be sure about what content you are sharing with anyone. If it is going to embarrass you, please don't click such photos or videos and delete it immediately. Does anyone have any question on losing control? Can anyone tell me about an app which is used for sharing images? Does anyone know? Google Photos. Okay, how about Snapchat?
Yes, ma'am. I was going to say that only.
Okay, what does Snapchat do?
Ma'am, it basically shares photos only.
Shares photos only. And it shows it only for 10 seconds? Is that right?
No, ma'am. We can set it with our convenience. Like we can increase the timing of the photos.
But you can decrease it also. You can keep it 10 seconds as well, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what happens, Tamanna, you answer me. If I share a photo which with the setting of 10 seconds, is that safe to share?
Ma'am, I don't think it's safe.
Why is it not safe?
Ma'am, because ma'am, can I speak in Hindi because I'm
yes,
more
please. हाँ जी, जरूर.
यस मैम। मैम जैसे कि अगर हमने 10 सेकेंड्स के लिए भी किया है तो जो भी मतलब जिससे भी हमने भेजा है तो वो मतलब स्क्रीनशॉट तो ले सकता है 10 सेकेंड की
बिल्कुल
भी।
बिल्कुल सही। तो अगर आप 10 सेकंड के लिए भी कोई स्नैप भेज रहे हैं, अगर किसी को बुरे इंटेंशन से वो कैप्चर करना है तो वो तब भी कर सकता है। गुरजोत, आपको कुछ कहना है?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I'm talking about that. You are talking about Snapchat.
Mhm.
Ma'am, it's up to us that whom we have to share. So we can not be share also. Like हम उसे नहीं भी भेज सकते हैं और भेज भी सकते हैं.
Right.
तो वो हमारी सेफ्टी है कि हम अपनी फोटोज किसी को शेयर ना करें.
वेरी गुड गुरजोत। सो आप लोग शेयर जो भी करो, प्लीज सोच समझ के करो। एनी एक्शन दैट यू टेक ऑन द इंटरनेट, प्लीज थिंक बिफोर यू एक्ट। Okay, so you always have to take control of your pictures. The moment you share your pictures with anyone else, please expect that you have lost control of that picture. What they do after that is up to them. You will not be able to decide on that. Okay, and if you have if anyone is bullying you for any image also that you shared, please do report it. Please let someone adult intervene so that it can be put to a stop. All right, so we move to the next topic. Has anyone heard about geotagging? ठीक है, तो मेरे को ये बताइए कि आपको अभी मेरी स्क्रीन पे एक इमेज दिख रहा होगा। आपको इस इमेज से कुछ मेरे बारे में पता चलता है क्या? ये कुछ चीजें मेरे डेस्क पे रखी हुई थी, मैंने उसकी फोटो खींची है। इससे मेरे बारे में आप लोगों को कुछ इंफॉर्मेशन मिल सकती है क्या?
Ma'am, that you like fruits.
Okay.
Ma'am,
Anything
are they
else?
ma'am, are they real?
No, they are not real. They are toys.
Photos. We can find your location through this.
Awesome. How can you find my location via this?
Ma'am, there are certain people may use geotagging or some tracking devices to do that.
Okay. So how is that enabled? Do you know, Ojaspita? Okay. All right. So Ojaspita is right. Just by the image, there are things that you can come to know about me. So if you open the properties of any image, it captures certain information which knowingly or unknowingly I transmit into the photo I'm taking. So this is a photo I have taken from my camera, my phone camera. And if you look at the properties, you will come to know the date and time when this photo was taken. You'll come to know the model I used for creating this, clicking this photo. You will also come to know the exact location on Google Maps where this photo was taken. Okay, it can capture all this information, and this can be captured because the geolocation is enabled by default on your phones. Whenever you buy a new phone, your geolocation will be enabled. And what you need to do is make sure that when you are going to click photos, before that, just make sure that the geolocation is disabled for the camera. Now you can find these steps to do that on Google. If you're using Android or you're using iPhone, just go and search for the steps to disable the geolocation and disable it so that at least the location information will not be captured. Now, why should we disable the geolocation? So geotagging is when someone is able to take multiple pictures of you. That is, it is already posted online. From that, they are able to retrieve the exact location where you have been and exactly map where all you have been at what particular time. That is called geotagging. Okay. And the reason why it is harmful is because it can give the others who want to probably intimidate you or take advantage of you the opportunity to find out your behavior, your travel path, your location, probable location, and then probably harm you or your loved ones if at all they have the intention to. Okay, sometimes what happens is we want to go on a vacation, or rather we are going on a vacation and we are very excited about it. We click multiple photos, and while we are on vacation, we immediately want to send it to our friends as well. So irrespective of where we are and how long we are going to be there, we keep posting these photos on the Facebook or other social media accounts just to either share with our friends the excitement that we are going through, or just to tease them a little. And this could enable the others who are looking, the predators, so-called predators, to look for your profile. And if they really know where you are staying, they probably know that you are on vacation, and they can easily break into your house and steal some valuables. Or they can meet you at that particular location where you're vacationing, just to show, oh, I was aware, and we were supposed to meet here, and your father asked me to come and meet you and pick you up. They could do such things just to make sure that you trust them and do things that they want you to do. Do you have any questions on geotagging? Okay, what if you are not putting your geolocation into the photo and uploading? Could someone use that to identify your location even without the geolocation? सब लोग शांत क्यों हैं? समझ में आ रहा है कि सबको मैं क्या बोल रही हूँ जियो टैगिंग के बारे में?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
ऑल राइट, तो फिर आपको पता है क्या कि फोटो से किसी का जियो लोकेशन पता कर सकते हैं क्या? जस्ट फोटो देखकर?
यस मैम।
कैसे पता कर सकते हैं?
क्या खड़े हो
गुंजन, आप कुछ बोल रहे हैं?
मैम? किसी अपार्टमेंट के आगे खड़े हो या फिर किसी नोन प्लेस के आगे?
बिल्कुल सही। हम कहाँ खड़े हैं उसके बैकग्राउंड से हम पता लगा सकते हैं, जबकि स्पेशली जब वो फेमस प्लेस हो तब तो पता लगा ही सकते हैं, मगर कभी कभी जो फेमस प्लेसेस नहीं हो उससे भी पता लगा सकते हैं। कई एक बार किसी ने एक स्टडी किया था और उस पर्सन ने पूरा दिखाया कि मैंने इस दिन ये पोस्ट किया, नेक्स्ट डे ये पोस्ट किया, फिर एक पिक्चर डाला, फिर उसके बाद ये पोस्ट किया। उससे पूरा उनका पाथ कैसे कहाँ कहाँ गए, कितने बजे पहुंचे, सारा स्टोरी कोई निकाल सकता था विदाउट ये बताए कि वो जियो लोकेशन क्या है, टैग करे बिना भी आराम से उनका पूरा मैप में चार्ट कर दिया गया कि वो किस लोकेशन से गए हैं, कहाँ से गए हैं, कौन सा रास्ता लिया है। एंड दैट इज व्हाई जब भी आप कोई पिक्चर अपलोड कर रहे हो, जस्ट बी केयरफुल अबाउट व्हाट यू आर अपलोडिंग। अगर आपको पिक्चर्स अपलोड करने ही हैं तो वेकेशन से आने के बाद कर लो, आपको इमीडिएटली अपलोड करने की जरूरत नहीं है। So these are the tips that you can take care of for making sure that people are not able to geotag you. All right. So अभी प्राजक्ता आगे के टॉपिक्स लेंगी और स्पीच में अगर मेरे को कुछ इंसिडेंट याद आएगा तो मैं आप लोगों के साथ जरूर शेयर करूंगी।
Thank you so much, Gunja, and all the topics that you were talking, right? They are so apt for this current situation. And I was so involved. I was listening to them very, both very nice. Those topics were.
Thank you.
So I think next we will go to some of the other important topics. So the next thing that we are going to look into is there anybody in the crowd who has not played online games? So the thing here, what we want to say is basically. So in one of these, right, there's people, they have a lot of so there are two to three people who play against each other, and then what happens is, like, Maria likes to play games online with people all over the world, okay? And there's one contact who is Rocker29. So यहाँ पे हम लोग देखेंगे कि there is no exact name of the person, so we don't know who the person is, right? He is probably camouflaged the name, कुछ अलग नाम रखा है. We don't know if the person is a male or a female, or what is the age of the person. We really don't know, right? So there is another person, and they talk through the chats, right? Talking well, and it's fine to continue with the chat and things like that, right? And both of them, they are going for some concert, right? And they say that, okay, if you're going, let's meet up. Okay, so like, do you think that, what are the thoughts that come to your mind if such a situation happens, right? You're going somewhere, you've not seen the person ever, and the person is asking to meet, right? So like, what are the thoughts? I need answer from the folks here, right? So should you accept the invitation? Should you say no? What should you do at this moment?
Well, we shouldn't accept the invitation from any stranger whom we met online.
Yes, that's the first. Correct. Yes. So that's the first thing that should come into your mind, right? That you haven't met the person, you don't know the person, right? So it's always better to be. It's fine to be. It's fine to be negative at times, right? Because if that's going to help, that's going to help your being safe, then it's always fine to be negative. Never meet somebody who is just there online, right? Unless and until you know the person, right? So even if you know, you have got to think twice, right? So that's what we wanted to share about Maria's story here. So whenever you are playing, right, there are a lot of games there. Whenever you go online, there are simple to complex and advanced, lot of type of games, right? You always keep chats relevant to the game. Okay, so there are rules laid down. There are people who want to chat regarding the game, out of the game things. So always make sure whatever you chat is restricted to the game. Never ever provide any personal information over these gaming sites. Okay, so kya hota hai usually when you are playing, right? You forget everything. You are in that mood of winning, right? You want to win the game, so you forget everything. Somebody suddenly asking your phone number or any simple information, you said that's fine, I'm just giving, and you're still concentrating on your game, correct? So that's not the right thing. Always remember, your personal information, your private information needs to be with you. You need not share it over internet to anybody. Okay, consider setting up private chats.
I think we should ask everyone what is private information or what is personal information.
Like address or phone number or
password.
Ma'am, some bank details.
Right. All these are correct answers. Do not share your personal phone number, your mail ID, your home address. ये सब share करने की जरूरत नहीं है. एक बार एक बच्चे ने once one child was asking me, so this child had created his own website and he was quite a popular blogger as well. So he was asking me that, is it okay to share my personal details in the blog? Because what is the point of writing a blog if you don't make it personal? So you have to give information about yourself, about what you feel, how are you feeling, what are the things you're doing. So he ended up giving some information about where he's staying, not the exact address, but some information about where he's staying. And if anyone wanted to contact him, he had given his mail ID and phone number as well. So those who are interested in doing such things, please make sure that instead of giving your mail ID and phone number or address, please create a form where you can take in the queries. The queries will automatically come to your mail ID, and then you can decide whether you want to respond to a person or not. Never share your passwords, your mail IDs or your phone numbers on the internet for everyone to see. I think there's a question from Surbhi. Is gender also a personal information during playing games?
Gender is the personal information, and somebody is asking, you should not be doing. Even if you don't want to reveal your name, that person who is against you to know your as long as would be doing with that, right? Tomorrow, today if you give the name, tomorrow the person might go onto internet and look for that name on Facebook or Instagram and would finally figure you out, right? So that's the thing. So if you don't want to reveal it, that's fine. That's your personal information.
So some things that we should definitely keep in mind is every game that comes with an age requirement. And when you are looking at an age requirement, at times we feel that it's all right. I am just 1 or 2 years younger than the age requirement. So what's the harm? There is always some content. Either it could be abusive language, it could be the kind of dressing, or it could be the amount of fights that are there in the game, which may be harmful to you. And that is why always make sure that you understand the age requirements and your parents are fine with you playing such games. At times it could happen that the game is quite exciting and quite entertaining and quite engaging, and that is why you want to play. All your friends are already playing it. But it is always good to read about that game before you start playing, especially when the games are pretty new. Everyone knows about the Blue Whale game that was going around quite some time back. किसी को मालूम है क्या Blue Whale game के बारे में? Has anyone heard about it? Yes, Gurjot?
Yes, ma'am.
it was a game that caused so many deaths.
Everybody.
Right. So when the Blue Whale game was launched, it was pretty new, but because one person has played, the other person started playing. But then it was actually leading to deaths of the children who were playing. So you always have to be careful about what the content is. Don't start playing just because हाँ ठीक है, simple है, मैंने अपना थोड़ा information दे दिया, क्या हो गया, सिर्फ नाम ही तो मांगा, big deal, क्या हो गया दे दिया तो. These small things can lead up to something that can be irreversible or could really be harmful for you or your loved ones. So please be very careful when you're playing games. Do make sure that your parents are aware of what games you're playing. One of the incidents that I came across during one of my interactions with the parents was that one child was so much involved in games. He probably started playing games for many hours per day. Okay, if you play games for 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours a day, you're so much involved in the game that it starts impacting your brain. It starts impacting your psychology as well, and it impacts your overall behavior as well. So this boy used to play a game which involved a lot of fighting, and he used to play for many hours every day. And eventually it went to a state where he became very irritated and frustrated with things. He would get easily incited by things. And he eventually started throwing things at home, even for the smallest of the concerns or issues that person had. He started breaking things. He broke the TV. He really went to an extent where he had to be removed from the game. All the media had to be removed from him. He had to be counseled for many days just to make sure that he becomes normal. So don't go to an extent. When your parents tell you, don't play games, it's for your betterment. It's for your good. It's for your future. The more you keep getting involved in games, the more you start deviating and distracted from your studies. And this time, the 9 to 12 standard is a very crucial time for you. So it's okay to play a little, just for deviating your mind a little, just to become a little fresh from your studies. Best would be to go out and play with your friends. But if that is not a possibility, a little online gaming is okay. Don't get addicted to it.
Excuse me, ma'am. I had a question from very long time that the Blue Whale game, which became very famous just because it led to deaths of so many students. What was the reason? Like, what will a person who doesn't even know about so many children, what will he get from the deaths of dead children? Like,
okay, so that game started with very simple challenges. So it had a set number of challenges that a person had to complete. Now, when the game started, it will give a very simple challenge. Give me your name, give me your address, give me your loved ones' names. So all that information, yeah, how difficult is it for me to give me my phone number, give you my phone number? Here's my phone number. Here's my address. I have one brother, one sister. My parents are doing this work. They are working in this company. It's all okay. I can give all this information. It's not such a big deal. But what happened was, in the further challenges, the challenge was, do so-and-so task, else we will kill your brother. Do so-and-so task, else we will harm your sister. We know where you're living. We know the exact location. We'll come and harm you. So that ended up going in a cycle where the person who was taking the challenge ended up completing the challenges. And the last challenge was to kill yourself. So it started with a very simple thing, but the end was to kill yourself. And there was no turning back, because the person thought that if I'm not going to complete this challenge, my loved one will get harmed. Does that answer your question?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Another pitfall of gaming is usage of real currency. A lot of games that you will find, they will allow you to spend real currency so that you can earn a lot of points in the game and use it to buy different things within the game. Please stay away from such things. You can spend that money in better things in your physical world. and buy toys for yourself or spend in better things rather than spending on the game. One of the reasons why you should not be doing that is that at times when you click on the link where you are required to make the payment, first, you should be taking the credit card only with your parents' permission. But what if that site where you're going to enter your information, what if that is not a trusted site and it actually captures your credit card information and misuses that credit card information further? So please try to avoid spending real currency in games. So this is about securing the information that you have on your computer. Do you download any software, any media, whether it is music, videos? Does anyone download it from the internet?
Yes, ma'am. Sometimes we do download the videos and some music videos.
Yes, Muskan?
Ma'am, for example, we download sometimes apps like Spotify, and we can probably listen to the music from it, or if we want to directly download it to our videos, then there's probably a app named Save from Net. We can probably copy the link over there, and we can download the video to our.
Okay. So there is one question on the chat from Anjali Negi. Is it safe to download the applications for location? Many apps are okay. Many applications ask for the location. Is it safe for us? Okay. So I'll come to that, Anjali. So when you're downloading the games, where should you download the games from? How do you know whether a game, whether it is a game or an app or media? How do you know it is safe to download that application, software, media? Can you download it from just anywhere?
We download it from Play Store maximum of times.
Okay. So you can download it from Play Store. Should you download anything from other than Play Store?
Ma'am, sometimes we download it from Google Chrome and browsers.
Yes, but when you search from Google Chrome or browser, any browser, what you need to take care of is that you're downloading it only from the valid website or the real website, which is genuinely the owner of that particular media or that particular app. What we need to make sure is that we don't go to a fake website. Now, how do you identify a fake website? When you're trying to download anything related to some application or plugin provided by Twitter, probably you can go to Twitter website and download it, or you can download it from a Play Store where Twitter app is available. Should you download a Twitter app from any other website other than Twitter provided link or the Play Store link?
No, ma'am, we shouldn't download it from any other link.
What could happen if you download it from there? What are the reasons you should not download it from there?
Ma'am, there are some websites which ask for locations, and there are some websites which ask for notifications that they can send us notifications. And if we want that application, we must probably click on the allow, and by doing so they can like send us
right. So what happens is that these fake websites or the malicious websites, what they could do is that if they have the intention of stealing something from your laptop or from your phone, what they could do is they can modify the application. So if you want to download Twitter app, instead of going to Twitter, you are downloading it from another website. They could modify the Twitter such that they embed their own malicious program within that application. So when you download it from there, what happens is the malicious application also gets the opportunity to run on your mobile or your particular laptop. And that malicious program could steal information, whether if there is some important information, it could steal that, or it could probably download a software logger, keyboard logger on your machine or your phone, which could capture the actual keys that you're pressing. Now, what happens when you do that? The information that you're entering in your keyboard, that will be captured and sent to the malicious hacker. he or she will be capturing that information. So if you or your parents are visiting a site which is of significance, like a banking site, you're entering your password, your login, they can capture all that information and they can then misuse it further. They can actually siphon off money as well just by using your login and password. So that is a possibility. So make sure that when you're downloading it only from the genuine website. Always make sure that you're keeping your antivirus software updated. That way, at least the known viruses, if they are coming in, they will be tracked and they will be quarantined, and hence your computer will stay safe. You have to use strong passwords, especially when you're logging into websites. These days, you have two-factor authentication or multi-factor authentication available. Please use that feature so that you can have you can ensure that there's more safety to your login IDs. Can anyone tell me what is two-factor authentication or multi-factor authentication? I see one answer as OTP. Yes, that is correct.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
OTP stands for one-time password, and if we log in into or we want to transfer some money or get some money, then we get this. It is something like 6-digit number, and we use it to get the code to crack it. So, and we should not share it with anyone because it can share our information like our bank account numbers or anything up that is very personal, and money can be taken out from our bank accounts.
So one-time password is fine. That is going to be there for limited time. So that is really a good way of protecting. तो अगर आपका पासवर्ड जैसे अगर लीक भी होता है किसी को, अगर आपका वन टाइम पासवर्ड नहीं डाला तो तब तक वो एक्सेप्ट नहीं करेगा. सो दैट इज द सेकंड फैक्टर ऑथेंटिकेशन. जब तक आप करेक्ट OTP नहीं डालोगे, दैट विल नॉट बी एक्सेप्टेड. So that is really good, but it can be applied on your email accounts as well. So it is not only limited to your banking websites. Please make sure that even your email accounts are protected, because someone could misuse your email accounts as well for targeting another person. जैसे मैं cyberbullying के बारे में बात कर रही थी. If someone wants to cyberbully my friend, instead of using his or her mail ID, if they are able to use my mail ID, all the blame would go on me, and that person will still be safe and the victim will still be targeted. So अब हमें इंश्योर करना है कि हम अपना ईमेल अकाउंट सिक्योर रखें जिससे कि उसको भी कोई मिसयूज ना कर पाए. ठीक है?
I think one of the things is when you change your passwords, right? There are two things, like once it asks you for your old password, and the other sometimes it also asks you for the questions, right? So jo questions you had set during creating the account, it asks you to answer the question. So that's also, I think that's one of the two-factor authentication methods. So if you've answered it right, then you're able to change the password.
How about attachments in the mails? You must have seen attachments coming in mails. Is it safe to open any attachment that you see in the mail?
Ma'am, opening any attachment can lead us to any of the website, which may take our IP address, which is not a safe thing.
So attachments could have some virus as well. People could have some virus embedded into the, or some malicious program in the attachment, and then they can send it across. So always be sure that you know that a person, always make sure that you know that a person is supposed to open the attachment. If you're not sure why someone has sent it, please cross-verify in case that mail got sent automatically because of a virus in that person's computer also. These days our mail accounts, our mail providers, they actually, whose signature is not known yet. So just be careful about what you're opening. Is it really intended to come to you? Did you really expect that attachment to come in? And what is the content of that attachment? It could be a porn video. It could be just a link. It could always be a link as well. It's just a link inside an attachment. Now, when you're accessing a link from a mail as well, think about it whether you really need to access that link or not. It could be a link on social media as well. Do you really need to access that link? It could happen that this link is eventually leading you to a malicious website which again could download some malicious software onto your computer or phone and then steal information or put the keylogging software. So just be careful and conscious about what you're accessing and opening. Any questions on this slide? What is the difference between email or Gmail? Email is a generic term. It is an electronic mail that can be used for sending a message to someone else. And Gmail is a provider. Mail is provided by Google, and that is what we call as Gmail. You would have other applications like Yahoo, which also provides email. There are many other service providers for that. Does that answer your question, Rajput?
So as we said, right, basically, like, we use the internet for, you know, watching a lot of movies, and as Guncha just said, right, we access a lot of sites, movies, music. और अभी इस लॉकडाउन में, initially when the lockdown started, right, we were so excited, हमारे पास इतना time है, we'll watch this movie, that we'll download, we'll watch whenever we have free time. So in that, what happens is we usually go and we want to download it on our systems, right? So there is one short story of Tony. Tony regularly uses his computer where he starts downloading some stuffs. और अभी download करने के लिए he is using some software to download it, right? So abhi what happens is whenever we access internet, right, you see usually on those sites where you get to watch movies, there are these small pop-ups that come in, right? And the pop-up says what? Free download, use this app, and a lot of things, right? And you feel that what's the harm? The app is it's free and you can just use it and download the things, right? It's very dangerous to go and you know, use those softwares which are free to download anything, because there are many times these softwares, they are free, many times they are licensed, or we don't really go and read what the license part is, right? And I don't think anybody here wants to get into a situation jahan pe today you have downloaded something and tomorrow you get a, you know, a legal notice that that's wrong to do, right? So what happens in this case is this small guy, he has downloaded some software, and the other day he gets a legal lawsuit saying that whatever he's downloaded is illegal. Right? This is a very dangerous situation, and I'm very sure nobody here wants to get into it. Correct? So अगर आप लोगों को कुछ भी download करना है, make sure that you're downloading it using a safe mode. You are aware of it. Read the license. Everything free is not the safest thing, right? अगर आपको कुछ पैसे भर के you want to buy the tool, go ahead and do it. Probably that's the safer in the long run. Okay, so the point we're trying to make here is do not download anything that comes your way. Make sure that you have read it properly and it's the safest thing to do, right? Next thing, Gunja. Correct, yes. Surfing the internet. So now this is, I don't think a single day goes on without you actually finding out anything on the internet, right? Or you folks are 10, 12 standard kids, you have to study so much. How many times, or itne doubts hote hain, itne questions, queries, how many times do you say ki, okay, I have a doubt, let's go to the library and find out a book that answers this question, right? What do we say? Let's Google. Hum Google kar lete, we'll get 10 answers, a lot of, and that's true in the current situation, correct? We get a lot of answers here, but the thing is, when you're Googling it and a lot of things, you by mistake, you fall onto some sites where you're not supposed to. Hum kahan click karte hain, what we are reading through. We need to go and read each and every information which site you're opening. So pay attention to the warnings about site safeties or expired certificates. Just say, make sure that your laptop has the updated operating system. So whatever updates come on the operating system, make sure you've kept your laptop updated. Your internet browser should be updated so that there's any virus, all that, is caught. Your antivirus, which is there on the laptop, that is updated so that you, anything that gets, it's quarantined or it's, it's caught and it's shown to you on there, right? all the sites that you access have HTTPS, right? So what happens most of the times is your site looks the same, right? And for example, if you're going on to, is this just an example? If you're going on to any banking site, right? The name of the bank, you just see, okay, this is the name of the bank, and you start entering details and everything, right? But you always have to see that it is a HTTPS, it's a secure site that you're accessing it, and then go ahead with your further actions. So double check that the site you are on to make sure you got where you want to be. You don't want to land up in a situation where, you know, it's going to be a trouble going ahead. Okay, so always make sure your things are updated, your antivirus that you have is updated on the laptop. Okay. Next thing, Guncha. Yeah, so I just want to spend some time here. Okay, Abhi, when you see this screen, right, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? What is this screen? Somebody can answer. What is this screen? This is your normal laptop file explorer, right? Isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
It's a file explorer. But like, do you see the URL there? Do you see the URL here? Your file explorer would never be with the URL, right? HTTP URL here. Correct. So this is what happens. This is one example of, you know, what happens suddenly when there's any virus that is in and that tries to lure you as to it makes you, it shows you things which you are so familiar and you feel, okay, this is my file explorer, I can go and open it. But this is actually a virus which can get into your directory, into your operating system, get access to your files which you don't want to expose, and everything is open out there, right? So you don't want to get into such a bad situation. Another very common example is, for example, now on our laptops, right, we have antivirus. What happens is you buy them, they come with about 1.5 years subscription, and you're happy, everything's working fine. And then suddenly you forget about that, that it has expired, and you don't want to pay that 2,000, 3,000 amount to again renew it, right? And then when you're accessing something on the internet, you see, you know, free scanning of your laptop or free antivirus, and you feel that's free, let's go and get it, let's go and download it. Otherwise, let's just scan my laptop for once, how much of a difference is going to make, right? But always be aware that, you know, that these are free, not for good, but probably for bad things. If you try to download these things and you scan, all your data is exposed to somebody who wants to get an access to it, right? So that's the reason why always be careful. Internet is it has become our best friend, right? And, you know, we've got into that habit of trusting it. We don't want to think twice before doing it, but that's not the thing. It is our good friend. At the same time, it can also be a bad one. So we have to be careful enough when we are using it. Here. So this is also, this is like one of, we have a lot of antiviruses that helps the trusted ones, I am sure. So can you tell me what are some of the antiviruses probably that you have heard about? Trusted antiviruses? That will tell you how many of you have antivirus installed on your laptops. Anyone wants to take that up?
Yes, ma'am. So many are there, like Norton, Net Protector, antivirus.
So Norton and Net Protector, we have McAfee and all these, right? So these are some of these antiviruses that's going to, it will help you scan and put it a habit. You scan your laptops maybe every day in the morning. You scan it maybe once, 2 days. Or there are automatic scans also that happens, right? But if not, run it once, run it twice. You know if there's anything that's lying on your laptop which you really don't want to. Okay. Yes, Guncha, next slide, please. Yes, the passwords, right? Passwords are, I would say, the most personal information the most personal thing or the private thing for you when you are on the internet. Okay, I'll just go through an example here, and then we will understand why, what things you need to take care about passwords. Okay, so you have passwords for your inbox, for your emails and everything. You set a password, and then suddenly you share that password with some. You say that, okay, my good friend, I can share my password, no harm, anything, and you share the password, right? The next moment, what happens is, you had a fight with the person, you didn't expect it, and then suddenly the person went out and then has exposed your password. This is the last thing you could have expected, correct? So and then what's going to happen? Can somebody help me answer? Like, you share it with somebody and somebody is definitely just wants to use it for the wrong thing. What can happen in such situations? Think of your Facebook password getting exposed.
Ma'am, sometimes our Google connected with our banks too, so they may leak our बैंक पासवर्ड्स एंड बैंक सिक्योरिटी जो होती है हमारी वो
correct. So bank passwords are really something that you need to be doubly sure that you're not sharing it with anybody, right? So bank passwords, your social media password, you don't want to be in a odd situation jahan pe somebody gets your password and posts wrong photos or photos that you didn't really want to be out on the internet, right? So make it very clear, have ground rules. I am not going to share my password with anybody, even if the person is my best friend, my fast friend, and this and that. I'm not going to share my password with anybody, right? Next slide, please. Okay, so let's talk about strong passwords. Like I think so when just think of a situation when you're creating an account and you want to put a password. Okay, so and this happened to me when I was young, right? Okay, so when I created my Gmail account, right, the first password, I'm not going to share my password, but the first password that I set was something that I liked very much, right? So it's something that I really liked, and then it was a fruit and things like that. So it was a very simple password, right? And so that was fine. When I realized that was not the right thing to do, I went ahead and changed it. Okay, so all I'm trying to say is we usually are into this, that whenever you want to set a password, you think of what is my favorite or what is my favorite location and number of other things, right? We need to think, how can I build a password which in any situation cannot be hacked? Now, this saying cannot be hacked may not be true in all cases. There are a lot of hackers out there who are just trying to get into and break things, but try to make your password as strong as possible, right? So your passwords have to be stronger, at least 12 characters. Okay, make it a mix of uppercase, lowercase, and put all the special characters in place. Make it so difficult that even you cannot remember it. No, don't do that, because if you can't remember it, that's the bad thing you will get into, right? So have a strong password. There are things like a few things that you can take care of is, on your laptop, you have some of the files which you don't want, probably if somebody just gets into your laptop without through a back door, right? You don't want to open that file. Save that file as a password protected file. Okay, make that a password protected file. Remember the password. Do not note down the password anywhere, because you feel it's going to be a safe thing. Put it in a notebook. No, do not do that. It gets into somebody else's hands and then everything is out, right? It's like so a simple thing, right? When you're going out on a vacation, what do? You lock your home, right? You put big locks there. You lock your bedroom, you lock your locker, and a lot of big things, and then you lock your home, right? And then what do you say? Oh, everything is safe, that I'm safe now. And then what happens finally? The keys of your house, where do you keep the keys? Because probably the maid is coming the second day, you keep the keys outside under the doormat or somebody, right? So what's happened here? Your entire thing is locked, but that one single mistake of yours, it has exposed everything again, right? So the thing is, even whatever files you are doing a password protect, even do not save that password anywhere. Keep it a habit to remember certain things. Okay. So then there are tools that can help you build strong passwords, that can help you save passwords, but always be diligent when you're using such tools. We need to know whether the tools are safe enough to use. So it needs some studies before doing that. So, but there are some helps that are available if you want to build strong passwords. Again, as Gunja, I think, went through one of her slides, there's a multi-factor thing that still you can use it for having strong passwords. So always be knowledgeable enough, of what are the different security aspects available and how you can not fall into a pitfall which you don't want to get into, right? Next slide, Gunja.
Okay, I think with that we come to the end of the session.
Yes, correct.
Does anyone have any specific questions they would like to ask before we end the session for today? Yes, Anushka?
Yes, ma'am, as there are so many sites in the like Google and other platforms we find, but how can we know that this particular site is safe or not, even though that site contain HTTPS in it, but then too they are unsecure sometimes. So is there any specific idea?
Yeah, frankly speaking, it is not difficult to make a site HTTPS. All they need to do is get a certificate, which is very cheaply available. So if someone can really make a site that is malicious and they can extract much more money from others just by having the certificate put in there, they will be able to afford it. So all you can do is, sites like Google, browsing sites like Google, they will be able to do a better judgment of whether a site is malicious or not, and they will automatically give that information warning to you before when you do a search. So if there is a warning coming on your Google search that this site is not safe to browse, don't browse it. If you're very sure that there is a site, say your school has a website and they don't have HTTPS and you're getting a warning, fine, you can go there, but just don't enter any personal information. But other than that, you can just take a review on Google to see if that site is considered malicious or not. What are the reviews before you actually go and use that site?
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Yes, ma'am. Is it safe to keep our photos in Google Pictures and Photos?
Till the time you're okay. Till the time you don't keep a weak password or leak your password or mistakenly or unmistakenly, it is safe to a certain extent. The other safety part is not with you; it lies with Google. So you are trusting Google that they will ensure that their servers and their applications, their systems are all quite patched and nothing gets leaked out. So that trust is up to you whether you want to put into Google or not. If you don't trust Google, don't keep your pictures there. If you trust Google will take care of of the work that they should be doing, then you can put your pictures there.
Thank you, ma'am.
Again, as Gunja said before, right? Don't post anything which you don't feel is, fine to be on the internet. I mean, if you fear that somebody's going to make a bad use of it, don't post it. That's fine.
Okay, Disha, your question?
Ma'am, we download many apps. When we download the apps, they want permission to allow to use our photos or storage. When we do not allow them, the app do not open. So it is okay to allow them to use our photos or storage.
All right. So yeah, that is a big challenge, and that is something that we have to think about. Whenever you are downloading an app, first of all, do you really need that app? If you need that app, and it requires your access to your image or your camera, your storage in order to perform the services that it is required to perform, then yes, please go ahead and give the permissions. But if you feel that you're not comfortable with giving access to that application, then you can decide that whether you really want to download it or not. If you're fine not giving access to that application and not using that application altogether, then don't download it. It's completely up to you. But one thing you can do is take a review of that application on the Google. Just search for reviews on that application to understand whether it is safe or not.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome. Yes, Muskan?
Ma'am, I have this question, ma'am. For example, you were telling us about the Blue Whale game. For example, if we put someone else's address or someone else's name, are there any consequences about it? I mean, I was just asking.
Consequences of sharing someone else's name?
Yes, ma'am. For example, if someone is your enemy and they share your personal details, and ma'am, are there any consequences of that?
Well, you cannot control anything that others do, Muskan, whether it is over internet or physically, right? This is nothing different from physically you are meeting someone and you make an enemy out of him or her, and that person goes in and gives your personal details to someone else. So similarly on the internet, that could happen. There is nothing that you can do to stop that person, but you can always complain about it. You can complain about it on the platform where the information is being shared. You can complain it if it is a cybercrime that is occurring. You can always complain it at the cybercrime.gov.in as well. You can ask an adult to intervene and put a stop to that.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome.
The schools from the Ganderbal, Udham, Shimla, and Bandi and Jabalpur have participated in this program. The students, we are thankful to you for this participation. Hope this cyber security session has been very interactive, and I'm thankful to team IBM also for conducting this session. Thank you all.
And if they have any queries further through their teachers, they can send it to us, and we will also try to address them by taking the support of the team.
Thank you, children, for joining us. This was a very, very enlightening session. Even I, as an adult, could learn a lot of things that we are not aware of. And I hope we learned many things about privacy, about safety, about security. We often say that girls are not safe online, but I believe even the boys, even the men are not safe. Be nicer persons. Let's be more empathetic people who are, who use internet for the good of the population. Thank you, Gunja ma'am and Prajakta ma'am, for your time. Thank you, students, for joining us.
Thank you all.
Thank you, everybody.